Hi, my name is Felix Onsare, a developer advocate at Autodesk working under the Media and Entertainment Department, specifically Flow Production Tracking. And today we are going to look at the tank command in a centralized Flow Production Tracking Toolkit setup. Tank is essentially the command line entry point into your pipeline configuration. It lets you inspect, manage, and operate your production environment directly from your terminal. We will go through the setup, inspection, DCC launching, folder creation, and even configuration updates. So within the centralized configuration, the tank command lives inside your pipeline config folder. So if I navigate into my folder, the configuration folder, which I'm already inside here, you can see when I list, I have this two tank files here. And since I'm on Windows, I will use the second tank executable. And to find out whether it's been set up correctly, we type tank help, and this should give us access to all toolkit commands tied to this configuration. And also, it is important to remember that the tank command usually runs relative to the active pipeline configuration. All right. So now that we know where our tank command lives, the next thing we're going to do is try to set up a new project using the tank setup command. So the setup project command. So this one has the same functionality as the advanced toolkit setup within the user interface, the flow production tracking desktop interface. And basically, think of this as a bootstrap step that turns your project into a production ready pipeline. So it will register the pipeline configuration and set up our storage routes, install our core components, and also prepare the environment for DCC integration. So just giving it some time, I will speed up this part. Okay, so because you want to use the default configuration, we'll press enter. However, if you have maybe you have a different configuration stored elsewhere, maybe on a disk or on a Git repository, you can then enter the URL here. But for now, we will just press on enter so that we continue with the default one. So here we will need to map the storage, the local storages in Flow Production Tracking, and we want to use Felix WPC2. I want to map it to that. You need to have set that one, preset it before in the Flow Production Tracking web when setting up the project. So once we set up that one, we will be required to choose which project that we want to set up with Toolkit. Now, the projects that will be listed here are only those which do not have the toolkit set up yet. So if you've already set up the toolkit for a project, it will not appear here. So here we want to set up the demo FO2 project ID 882. Proceed with that one, and then it will request us to enter a folder name for where now this will be our root storage for our assets, our shots, and whatnot. For now, I want it to go to this folder because I had preset it already. So I'll just accept that one as it is, and then it will ask me to set the path also for our configuration, where our configuration will live. Remember, this setup project mimics the advanced project setup workflow. So if you can opt to use that one or this one, or this one. So we skip because we are on Windows, and then here we'll just enter the path that we want to use, and then we skip that. Then just proceed with this, and you can see it is setting up the configuration for us, and it will run and install, of course, and associate the toolkit with this project. So I think we'll speed up this part as well. So right now it's just installing all the the different apps that we require for the toolkit. We'll just give it a little bit of time. Now that our project has finished setting up, you can see that we have the two folders, the one for storing our assets, and of course our configuration lives here. And so now that that is set up, we can now proceed to inspect our configuration and see that we have everything set up correctly. So we will use the command tank app info for that particular purpose, and this is just going to highlight for us all the installed apps and engines, and then it just runs through all the installed apps and engines to check that they're all installed. And after this, we can even decide to validate the setup and catch potential issues. So we run tank validate, and this one also checks that everything is set up correctly. So it of course validates each and every app and engine one after another, checking to make sure that everything is okay. As this is a long process, I think stop it, and then maybe we can inspect the core configuration details by running the tank core command, which should help us to just see how our configuration is set up. And takes a little bit of time, but it gives us important information about our configuration. So you can see that it's our toolkit API is up to date as at this time, the version, and a lot of other details over here. So it's also a very useful command when you want to debug issues. We want to move on to working with files, working with entities. So inside our project storage folder, you can see that it is empty. But when you look at our web interface here, you can see that we have two assets, which are demo assets. So we have a teapot and a table. One is a character and the other one is a prop. So let's say we want to tell the toolkit to create or inspect folders for an asset. So we can run the command asset, maybe table, because you saw we have an asset name table folders, and this command basically tells toolkit, hey, take this asset context and generate the correct folder structure based on this schema. So what's important here is that tank doesn't just look at the folder, it will resolve the asset from flow production tracking and map it to the disk structure automatically. And you can see that already we have about 11 folders that have been processed. So you see initially this was empty, but now you can see we have, within the different contexts, we have now the correct structure, correct folder structures. So you can see that this has been resolved. So that is one of the use cases of the tank, that you can resolve the folders automatically using this command. Now that we have created our folders, let's say we wanted to launch a DCC like Maya. So what we will typically do is depending on how Maya is named inside your software entity space, you can launch it from here. So we can because I'm running Maya 2027, and this is typically how we can launch it. But if we launch it like this, we launch it at a general project context. So however, we can also decide to launch it at an asset level. So to launch it at an asset level, just like how we created folders, we will use the command tank, and then we pass in the arguments asset, then the asset name, which in our case was table, and then Maya 2027. So it will typically look something like this. Tank. I'm typing this as because it takes time to launch the Maya, of course, the DCC, because it's a little heavy. So that was our asset name, and then we can do this. So this is if you want to launch it at a context specific level and not just at a general level. And you can see, of course, as you can see, we have our DCC. It's launched, but it's taking a little bit of time. When the DCC finishes launching up completely, of course, you can see the context in which the DCC has been opened here. Like here, you see we've opened our current context is the entity is the asset table, and then you have all those details there. So that is basically how you know your context details, and you can expand this view to get more information about the context details. So moving forward, moving on, now we can also update the toolkit, the toolkit TK core or other toolkit components using the tank command. And the only thing we need to do is run the tank updates command, and the tank updates command. I think, yeah, that's the correct command. And so here you can see that it checks for all updates. So if we want to run a full update, we can just select yes. However, sometimes we don't want to run the full update, and we just want to run a partial update, maybe on say tkmaya. So I'll run that one because it's faster. So I'll update all components of tkmaya. However, you can update individual components within Maya, but all this again is documented, and you can see once you run that command, of course it will update the engine and all other apps that are related and frameworks within Maya, and it will bring them up to date. So mostly if they are like, because we started this toolkit and we cloned it afresh, we installed the most recent updated version. That is why it is keeping the updates. But should it find that you have an update that is pending, then it will of course auto update once you run that particular command. So I'm gonna pause this command. Now also note that you can use you can run tank core command to also check for updates, because it will always tell you if you need a new update. So for our case, we don't need any new update at this time, and you can see the version that we're running here. If any other version is to come which is higher than this, of course this command will tell us that there is a new release and that we will need to then update. So that is also another way of checking for updates. So that was a quick overview of the tank command in a centralized toolkit setup. It is one of the interfaces that you can use to set up your projects, as you've seen, the context management, DCC launching, and pipeline maintenance inside Flow Production Tracking. Thank you for watching. If you find this helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to the Autodesk Developer channel for more tutorials.